Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel startupplanes.com. I'm Namrata and I'm taking interviews of the CEOs and founders of several innovative startups in India. In today's interview, I'll be talking to Smriti Bhatia, the founder of Choco House. Smriti is a chocolate artisan turned entrepreneur who bagged the third prize in Nestle India Milkmaid contest in the year 2020. Choco House is an innovative startup that has mastered the art of making delicious chocolates. To make your taste buds happy, Choco House has all kinds of chocolates, including vegan, gluten free, keto, sugar free, and even Ayurvedic chocolates. You want to know more about this business? Let's get into the video.
Hello, ma'am. Thank you for joining today. I'm Namrata. I'll be taking your interview. So, before the interview begins, if you could kindly introduce yourself to the audience.
Sure, Namrata. Thank you so much for having us here. So, my name, as you've already said, is Smriti Bhatia, and I'm the founder of Smriti's Choco House that was founded in 2010. And now also we have a baby branch by the name of Smriti's International Academy of Bakery Arts. We specialize in themes and designs of chocolates and many more things like frozen desserts, popsicles, and then we have many more things like chocolate spreads. We have sugar-free syrups for ice creams as toppings. We have desserts and some baked dishes also that we do. And some hand-blended ice creams that we recently launched in COVID for people to kind of enjoy at home.
Well, that sounds delicious, but how did you come up with this idea?
So 2010 was really a time when there were chocolatiers existing, but not too many. And honestly, I really did not have any hint that I will begin a venture with such an item. But so I was very fond of chocolates, like many of us are, and I started creating them for my family and friends, where I was creating something for them. I was doing it very differently, like I was trying to innovate something with every hamper that I was creating. So hence that excitement told me that maybe I should begin with something as my own and implement with different shaders and some innovations. And that is how the entire concept got seeded into my mind. And at that time there were chocolatiers existing, but not too many. So I wanted to do something which was not regular, and hence came out with these innovations of which I was just describing, like themes and designs. And there are obviously chocolate showpieces that exist, but the showpieces are actually something that are not very feasible to gift across, to transport, or even to store. They look nice, like really as showpieces. You cannot consume them. So we created some mini versions of all these chocolates, and which is where we came up with the concept of ingredients which can be a fusion blend of a lot of new options. And now we actually have 500 flavors with us, and we keep launching a lot of flavors. So that is how the entire concept came in. And chocolates is a food of God, where being the divine food, you can experiment with it like way too much the way you want to. So customizations are really our specialization. And so our customers want vegan, gluten-free, or sugar-free. You are allergic, you are diabetic, you want a Chinese flavor, you want a Western flavor, or you want any kind of flavor, even Indian tadka if you want. We can actually just make it for you in chocolates. That's how we differentiate ourselves, and that is how we started. And we thankfully continue to maintain that differentiators.
Right. So you always you already had identified a market gap where your product or your thought could rightly fit in. But how much of a difficulty or challenges you had faced in the beginning?
So I will actually say that my challenges are very different from many of these startups, and that's specifically because I'm an IT professional by background, and I started this venture along with my IT career. So what that meant was that my challenges were more to focus my energy and time on the venture, which obviously was not 100%. So I was actually stealing hours from the weekends, from after office during the weekdays, and when I had so many orders to do, my entire family would sit down with me and ensure that my stuff is completed on time. So that was one challenge that I faced, which also meant that my growth or the scale up that a venture expects or anticipates happens very slowly, because my concentration to vendor gathering, to clients repeating or clients coming back, that focus energy is not really there. So in the initial years, yes, it took a lot of time to get to a certain stage. And my other challenge was also with the legal side, because I was from a non-business background. So my challenge was also with taxation, with the legalities of the trademarks and registrations and licensing and all. But my saviors were really my network and my family, and that is how I pulled it through along with my IT career. So these were more of the challenges that I faced in the beginning, till I really went 100% focused on the venture.
Right, right. So, if you have to explain your business model to me, who doesn't really know too much about this business, how would you do that?
Okay, so like I said, the gap that I identified in the market when we started was that the routine types of chocolates were available with the typical squares and the limited flavors of nuts and plain, etc. That became our problem statement that we had to solve for the market. So if we have to explain somebody in the layman terms, yes, this was the gap which became the problem statement, and also the fact that chocolates, people were very health conscious and have become even more. And they are, your chocolates at that time were not very existent in terms of the health part. So that is again that we took as a problem statement. And these became our USPs down the line, with so many years of so many ranges being invented. This became our USP. And the target audience, really, we did not restrict. So every business has a target audience, but we did not want to restrict or limit ourselves. So all age groups, we will have some range which they can enjoy with. So like I was talking about, whether it is medical issues, diabetic, allergies, or gym conscious, whatever it be. So this was how we targeted our market. All age groups, right from when a child can really start consuming chocolates to the old age. We have the sugar free and all. This is how we really targeted our audience, to include everyone. And per se, also the cuisine type with the flavors that we have, like I was talking about Indian tadka or something else. We have all those fusion options with us. So that became our again another set of USPs. And then we also started focusing on eco-friendly packaging. So again, as a business model, we still research on what is happening in the market and what is required by the customers. And then obviously when you have an idea, you started working on it, there are some channels that have to support you in kind of becoming successful in that venture. So which is where a lot of networking platforms, online, offline marketplaces came into picture. There were planners, bloggers, influencers, like all of us would experiment with typically for our promotions and getting the leads done. Now we even have food aggregators and apps to support a lot of food ventures. So that was kind of the channels that we were looking at when the business model was created. And when we talk about some key factors, our key mantras have been to deliver on time, and also to make a direct connect with the clients. It does not matter it is B2B, B2C, or if there is the sales happening via channel or whatever it be, but the direct requirement understanding of the clients, and also delivering it on time with the same love across. That has been really our key factors which have taken us across. So yes, in a summary, this has been the business model.
Right. So talking about customers, so you're both serving B2B as well as B2C, right?
Correct.
Okay, and you are available both online and offline, or are you strictly online?
Online and offline both. So it's like it's not like a store. It's more of a takeaway it's more of a takeaway and delivery option that we have. So it's like a cloud kitchen.
Right. Also, if I was a customer and I was looking for chocolates, why should I choose your chocolates over the others?
So like I was explaining, why you should choose our chocolates over others is because we totally believe in personalization. We totally believe in customizing the hamper as per your requirements. If you have any occasion, we'll first understand what is your requirement for the occasion, and we'll craft the hampers accordingly. So, for example, it's a return gift that you have, say for a baby announcement, for example. So I will actually get down to the details of what are the budget and what are the designs that we can take in. Where you will see the baby prams in the chocolates, you would see all the baby accessories that we have, safety pins. Then move on to the flavors, which we will prefer keeping as a mix of routine and something new we'll suggest to you as per the the requirement of the clients. If you want a sugar-free range, we'll give you a sugar-free. And also because we handcraft every piece, since it is food, it is a lot of positive energy and love that is required for food. See, because if you have to create something, you can just create, anybody can create anything, but how you do it with your passion, with your love, and with your positivity is what really matters, especially in terms of food. So we take that special care, and that is all that really matters to us, and the quality, the taste, the delivery timelines, and keeping you updated across the entire process and cycle. You will actually not have any hassles when you're working with us. So that is how we actually deal with. And our customers, when they come back to us smiling, they come back to us again and again. That is when we really feel that we've done our work that well. Like even yesterday, we were launching our Rakhi teasers, and our clients reached out to us saying that this is something that we hear very often from them, and it brings a lot of smile to yourself as well. That you should probably adopt us because of the kind of range that you keep posting. You should actually start adopting us. So when you hear such statements, you really know that half of your work is done, because your end customers are really, like we say, customers are gods. That is what you work for, and if you get that satisfaction with your customers, that is nothing really you need more in your venture. They act as your blessings automatically.
All right. So in your venture, is it only you working, or your family members working, or are there other people helping you, like making a social media presence, making you helping you out in any of the other things other than making the chocolates?
Yes, so I would say that manufacturing is something that I keep to myself, and it does not really matter whatever the scale it is. It does not matter. I would always keep the manufacturing to myself, because I can give that personal level of detail, and the reason why we're able to maintain all the quality and taste standards as well. But we have a team for packaging and for delivery. We have a team assigned who work with us every day. And there is also a team that we work for social media. Social media, we work more with bloggers and influencers. And we have a one-person team in social media helping us with the reach. And the rest of the things we take care of together with our team. Of course, there is an accounts team.
So if I want to join your team and help you out in your journey for love of chocolates, so and I ask you that, why should I join you? Why should I choose to join you? What are the added benefits of working with you?
So working with me, so if we take it on a lighter note, you get to taste the chocolates automatically, and that attracts a lot of people because it's chocolates. So when you're working with a chocolate manufacturer, you are like automatically thinking of, will I get to taste chocolates? That's just on a lighter note. But otherwise, the primary reasons, one is of course the business reason why we have this brand. That, and second, there is a lot of learning which happens, because when you're doing so much of diverse things in your venture, there is a lot of learning that you do, and really hands-on. Because with packaging also we keep experimenting. So if we say that I'm the only one manufacturing, how does the learning come across? In packaging, we do a lot of themes and colors and creativity. So that is where that you really learn. And of course, you bring in a lot of new, fresh ideas, which also give growth both ways to the venture and to the person himself or herself joining. So that is one. Second is with the delivery team. If you're joining with the delivery team, then yes, of course, you learn many things, because there are a lot of trackability and traceability of orders with ethics, honesty, the trust factor at both ends, and payments is how you manage various stuff. And with the social media, I will make sure that you're constantly updated with the latest norms. that is happening in the industry. So because I will probably keep a personal check of what is happening in terms of the posting and what are the new ideas that we are putting in to get that close business deals or reach what we call insights. So because I will be giving personal level of attention, there will be a lot of grooming and learning that is going to happen. So another reason of why, because when you are working somewhere, you look forward to a lot of growth. Of course, not just financially, but even do you really pick up skills. So with that personal level of attention, there is definitely growth that is guaranteed. And with diversity in the work profile, it automatically comes in, you're on your toes.
Understood. So when you are talking about vendor management, one question came to my mind is that while picking out vendors for your company, what are the parameters you judge them upon before taking them on board?
So one is definitely in terms of what are the creative options that they can offer us. When we talk about the packaging or the decorations or whatever beautifies your packaging more and more, it is definitely the diversity you give yourself to us, because that is a theme that we want to match the foremost. Because the package is going to consist something very different. So when you open a package, that presentation matters a lot. It is not just the taste and the content inside, it is when you open a package, how differently it is packed. So that is definitely one of the foremost criteria. Second, if we talk about the soft skills, which are very important to us and which we also maintain, is the ethics and the honesty. So these are the two things that we will definitely look at. And also timely delivery, because if they promise something to us and do not deliver, see, once in a while you don't deliver stuff is absolutely fine. But if that's like a regular phenomenon, that will be a strict no to us, because our, as I was mentioning, our objective is to deliver stuff as promised to the clients. We will make sure that even if it is before time delivered, let it be. So the vendors have to be equally responsible and accountable, that if they have promised something to us, they are ensuring at least more than 90% of the times that we are getting the stuff to us on time. So that is, the major things that I look at the vendors, and the quality itself in their products and services that they provide. Just for example, as the smallest example, the boxes are broken or not a good quality as what they show in the picture, because these days it is really the norm of everything going online. So I'm also ordering everything, seeing the boxes online. But if you cannot maintain that quality when you receive it yourself, then obviously the vendor doesn't come on board the next time.
All right. Also, have you planned anything for the future, like any short-term goals or long-term goals?
Yes. So I would say short-term or the immediate goals that we are catering to are number one, increasing our community reach, because that is like a constant quarter goal. And when we talk about festivals that begin very soon, so we have a target of launching a lot of new products and new themes with every festival. So that is like a short-term goal. When we talk about long-term goals, our collaborations, we are targeting with wedding planners and event planners at least to work with 20, if not in the next 6 months, in the next 1 year at least. And then also, since we are into chocolate making workshops, which we have been doing interactive and face-to-face, which because of the situations also have not been happening face-to-face, we plan to continue them when the times are back. And we also want to, and we're actually working on an online academy, which is going to be again a very different concept from what we now have in terms of online workshops in conducting chocolate making, where people can check out options at their own pace and learn at their own growth and time, and come back to us for tests and exams, and then which is where they get the certificate. So it's not as if you're just doing online, you're learning at your pace and you're done. We will actually make sure that you have an evaluation with us, and the assessment is where we will make sure that you've grasped things properly, absorbed things very well, and then you get a certificate to completion of that course. So that's like a different concept without getting into a lot of details. Some different concept we're working on there. And yes, decreasing our expenses, reducing it by 10%, and increasing the income at least by 20%. That's like the long-term goal that we have.
Great. Also, you would agree to a fact that when a business or a startup wants to expand, having funds or getting a steady source of funds is always playing a crucial role. So, if
Correct.
you could just walk me through your like funding scenario at your company, like have you taken funds previously, or are you willing to in the near future?
So funds, we have not taken any. So I will say none for now, because for me, it was my professional background that became really the source of my funds. I would say that was a good God's grace, that I could skip getting into funding, and that was another decision which actually made it very easier for me to quit my job and get into this 100%. So none, and in the near future also I don't have.
Great. Also, one question apart from this technical discussion that we are having is that if you are not doing this business of your own, what do you see yourself doing?
I think then in that case I would have just probably continued with my IT career, because even this venture also was not planned. It just happened because of the way things got started, and because of my interest really getting deeper into doing different things. I think otherwise I would have just continued with my IT career, unless another idea came into my mind and I would have started doing that.
All right. Lastly, what are your thoughts that you want to share about startup Plains?
About startup Plains? Okay, so I have been actually kind of following your platform for quite some time. And what I really like about the platform is the constant panel discussions that you do, and the way you are sharing insights about the industry with everyone. Irrespective, we get our time to really go through, what is happening, latest trends in the industry or not. At least with your platform, we will not be missing on any concept because of the topics that you choose with your panel discussions. And also because it's a good place to have to meet vendors, to meet startups, and also to meet direct clients, I would say. Like for example, if we just talk about chocolates, I can meet many corporates here which would want to collaborate together for festivals or other occasions for gifting purposes. So it is where you meet other startups and you close many other business deals. It's a great platform. It's a close-knit platform, I would say. So these are the areas where really I was kind of following or starting a startup lens very, very closely.
All right. Well, that would bring an end to this interview, but it was lovely talking to you. Thank you for taking out your time. Yes, thank you for taking out your time and coming here and sharing your views on our platform.
Thank you so much, Namrata, for having me here. It was actually a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. Same here.
Thank you. Bye-bye.